Mostly sunny this afternoon, 23, with the 3 o'clock news. I'm Michaela Kamarek. The College of GPs say most cases of fraudulent Medicare records are either accidental or administrative faults. An investigation estimates $8 billion is being rorted from the system, with some doctors reportedly billing dead patients. RAC GP President Professor Karen Price says the investigation shows the Medicare system needs an overhaul.
Medicare has been broken down into unworkable pieces that are extremely difficult to apply. So our survey indicates that 47% of GPs are undercharging Medicare because they're fearing Medicare compliance audits.
The federal government has set an ambitious goal to end violence against women and children within 10 years. The blueprint outlines broad reform around prevention and better support services for victims. The plan doesn't set specific funding requirements, but Social Services Minister Amanda Rishworth says Labor is not ignoring the issue.
The first action that the new federal government took was to introduce a universal 10 days of paid family and domestic violence leave, ensuring that women don't have to choose between their job and leaving or attending to a violent relationship.
The future of the Victor Kodaya murder trial has been thrown into doubt. A lawyer for one of the 4 accused has pulled out mid-trial due to a conflict of interest that arose over the weekend. A mistrial could be declared. The prosecution alleges Mr Kodaya was fatally beaten by 4 men in the car park of Adelaide High School in August 2020. The case has been adjourned till Wednesday. Former Prime Minister Julia Gillard says she's passionate about overhauling early childhood education in SA. She'll lead a royal commission into extending preschool to all 3-year-olds by 2026. Online submissions are now open and public hearings will begin in late January. Ms Gillard says it's an important initiative.
I think it's an effective way of doing it, getting all of the stakeholders involved, hearing from the community, getting the plan right, rather than perhaps starting and realising at the midpoint that there's been some errors made in the thinking of how to do it best.
The National Security Advisor to the US President says it's up to nations, including China, to ensure Russia doesn't use nuclear weapons in Ukraine. Jake Sullivan has told CNN responsible countries need to ensure nuclear strikes are off the table.
We believe it is incumbent upon the United States, working with our NATO allies and partners and other responsible countries around the world, including the likes of China and India, to send a very clear and decisive message to Russia that they should not contemplate the use of nuclear weapons in this conflict.
And the Christmas mail cut-off has been announced. Economy air cards and gifts need to be sent by the 14th of November. Those using International Express for the most popular countries have until the 9th of December. Now turning to 5AA sport, Australia has won the toss and is bowling first in its T20 World Cup warm-up game against India at the Gabba. The visitors are currently 1 for 79 after 7 overs. Meantime, in the SA Tasmania Shield clash at Adelaide Oval, the Tigers are currently 6 for 182, trailing SA by 45 runs with 4 wickets remaining. Port Adelaide Chairman David Koch says he was thrilled with the trade period. The Power managed to land Jason Horne-Francis and Junior Rioli. Koch says it was a big tick for the club.
Yeah, we're pretty happy with trade week. We sort of achieved what we needed, and the team did a great job.
And Robbie Gray is returning to Alberton. The former Port star is taking on a role in recruiting and list management. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Looking good for the drive this afternoon. All the majors working all around town. We're accident and breakdown free. Simply some works to keep in mind. Got a lane closed at Holden Hill at the moment. Grange Junction Road near North East Road. Speeds at out of 40. Slow going for works at Campbelltown. That's Newton Road near Hancock Avenue. That's affecting both directions. Quite busy at the moment. South Road as you're driving through Karata Park with cameras. Kester's Road, Para Hills West and Midway Road at Elizabeth Park. Sick of business paperwork? Employment Hero streamlines HR admin so you can work easy. Sign up by October 26 for up to 3 months free. Search Employment Hero. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Beaumont Tiles have Aussie-made floor tiles priced from a crazy $17.95. Only at Beaumont Tiles.
Mostly sunny this afternoon, 23. Partly cloudy tomorrow and 23. Wednesday a possible shower, 22. And Thursday showers and 23. Right now it's 23 degrees. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News Tonight.
Climate protesters cause city chaos. One of Australia's richest men offering 1,000 jobs to South Australians. So what's the catch? Only on 9, a plan for local fishers to seek snapper again. Australia Post reveals its Christmas parcel deadlines. And researchers find the perfect exercise and diet combination for women. I'm Brent Braglis. See the full story on 9 News tonight at 6.
Jade Robran, talking Adelaide on 1395 5AA. Pet Talk Back with Dr. Derek McNair.
Good afternoon to you, Dr. Derek McNair. How are you this fine Monday afternoon?
Look, I'm very well, thank you, Jade. Very well.
Nice to see you. It feels like haven't seen you for a little while.
Be about a month now, actually.
I know.
There you go. We haven't changed a bit.
No, and neither have you. I'd love to ask you, there's a story floating around today. There's a national shortage of some pretty important vaccinations for dogs. What's happening?
Yes, I mean, there's a shortage of quite a few things, and it all sort of stems back to COVID, and I made some inquiries, and a lot of the companies or manufacturing plants are overseas, and they had problems with lack of staff and personnel, as lots of businesses around Australia know too well about, and so there was a slowdown in the production for a while, and then that has the domino effect. Obviously doesn't get out to other countries, and so the one in the paper that you're talking about was the leptospirosis vaccination, which there's sort of good news and bad news, at least if you're in South Australia. The vaccination is good, the disease is horrible. A lot of dogs who get it die, but
How do you get it?
They get it from generally drinking stagnant water that rats or mice have gone to the toilet in.
Oh, yeah.
So generally rats and mice pass it on through their urine. It's a bacteria. So they pass it on, they wee in a puddle, if you like, and then it sits there and the bacteria stays alive there in the stagnant water, and the dogs come up and drink it, and then they potentially can catch the disease from that. And it's really nasty. It can affect lots of different organs and systems and cause kidney failure and liver failure and stuff like that, and a whole lot of different things. The good news is it's not super common, and at the moment I don't believe there's any cases in South Australia. So we've been lucky, we've sort of avoided that. We avoid quite a few different diseases, like something called ehrlichiosis that's spread by ticks. We generally avoid as well.
Do we have ticks here?
We do have ticks here, yes. We do have ticks, but the ticks we have are generally the brown tick, and that actually is the tick that can spread this disease called ehrlichiosis. But the ticks in Adelaide, fingers crossed, as yet don't have, and hopefully never will have, this disease. So the only real problem we get with ticks here, and we don't have the paralysis tick as they've got in the eastern states, which is nasty as well and can kill dogs. So the tick we have here, the only problem we have with it is just the irritation of where it attaches onto the dog. But getting back to the other thing, there are other vaccines as well which are in quite short supply at the moment. There's what's called the FIVEAA, which is the cat equivalent of HIV, is in short supply as well. So both these vaccinations are hopefully going to be back on the shelves in large amounts in about a month's time. So if you've got a cat that's struggling to get the FIVEAA vaccination, I guess shop around and find out what vets might have it, but also just keep them indoors, because they catch the virus by being bitten. Generally, if they can be born with it, but that's not common. If they're not born with it, they'll catch it from being bitten by another cat who's got it. So if you keep your cats indoors or away from other cats, if you have enclosures in your garden, then yes, they shouldn't get it anyway, even if they're a bit late in getting their vaccination.
So cats are obviously not like dogs in that they've got to get outside every day and exercise?
Well, yes and no. A lot of cats are couch potatoes and don't mind being indoors the whole time. they still, even the indoor ones, need a bit of what's called environmental enrichment. So they need like us, if you're indoors all the time, you need to have a television or a radio or something to stop you going around the twist. So cats need a ping pong ball to play with, or toys, or something, things there's various sort of different things you can have. You can just Google environmental enrichment for cats and you'll find lots of ideas. So it's quite nice if they can go outside, but cats are hunters, so if they go outside you want to have them in an enclosed area. So if they're in your back garden, like I have 2 cats, I allow them in my back garden, and I've made my back garden escape proof. So
Right.
I've put what's called ocelot fencing around the top. So that's basically spinning bits of metal that they grab on to jump over the fence, and then they fall back down again.
That'd be frustrating.
Yeah, very frustrating for them, but they've got used to it now. I did have to remove a tree as well because they climbed up the tree. But and also they haven't caught any. They're very slow. They haven't caught any birds or anything like that.
Oh, good.
So if they did that, I'd probably build an enclosure for them so they couldn't get to them. Yes.
Well, let's go to a couple of calls, and if you'd like to talk to Dr. Derek, 8223 0000, or you can flick us through a text message, 0448 08 1395. Good afternoon to you, Wayne.
Oh, good afternoon, Dr. Derek. I'd just like to ask a question I could have regarding our Groodle.
Yes.
We've had him a couple of weeks. He's actually now 14 weeks old.
Yes.
We've got a grass half court.
Mm-hmm.
When we leave him out there, he barks continuously.
Right. Do you know why? Do you know why he's barking? Is he barking to come back in again, or what's he doing?
Yes, definitely separation issue, I think. Yes.
Right. Okay. Does he have lots and lots and lots of toys in the back garden?
We've given him lots of toys. We bought toys from him, and we've got even got paper toilet rolls. He loves those, and ice cream containers.
Mm-hmm.
He just watches us go out of the half court and go inside, and he starts barking like it's a bit manic. Actually, it's not just barking; it's manic. We've only had him 2 weeks, and he is actually a very good dog. He's toilet trained, and he's doing sitting. He's doing lots of good things. This is just the one area we're concerned about.
Okay, there's probably 3 or 4 different things you could try, Wayne. The thing I would definitely start with is get what's called an adaptable collar, which are, and I probably talk about every second week, I think. I use one on my dog, who is a bit of an anxious dog, and the lady who takes our puppy preschools recommend them for every single puppy because they tend to suffer from anxiety. And that can exhibit in many different ways. So they're collars that give out happy, relaxing dog pheromones. They work in about 3 puppies out of 4. So there is a chance they don't do anything, but there's no side effects at all. So it's called Adapto. You can get them from your local vet. And I would do that. The other thing I would do is make the outside more exciting. So feed them. Do you give them dry food?
We give a combination of dry food and cooked meat, yeah.
Okay. The dry food, do you feed in a bowl?
Yes, we do, yes.
Okay, change that. You now feed your dry food by throwing it out in your back garden. So you throw it everywhere out in the back garden. One is they enjoy it. 2 is it stretches out the feeding time. And it'll make the back garden more exciting. The other thing you can do is get one of those plastic clamshells from, I don't know, Big W, cheapest chips have them, I think, as well. And you put a bit of sand in there, and every day you bury something new in there, and usually you can bury the dry food in there. You can get bones. I like bones for dogs, even for puppies, but you have to make sure his tummy can cope with it. So talk to your vet about the bones you should get, and do that. The other thing you can do is phone up our clinic, and we can post you out a separation anxiety sheet, which basically tells you go out in the backyard for you go out there with your puppy, maybe play with them for a little bit, go back inside for 5 seconds, then go back out again. Then you go back into the house for 10 seconds, and so you actually just stretch out the amount of time you're away from them, and slowly get them used to an increasing length of time that you're separated from him. So, but a lot of puppies and cavoodles, and did you say it was a Labradoodle or?
He's a Groodle. Yes, he's a golden retriever poodle.
A Groodle. Okay. a lot of them I find do suffer from anxiety. I'm not saying your dog does, but a lot of them do, and it sounds like your puppy does too. So it's a common thing with the breed. And so get the adaptable collar, make the outside more exciting. And yes, as I say, if you call the clinic, we can post you out a separation anxiety form.
Okay, and have you heard about these ultrasonic emitters of sound that when the dog barks, they make the sound the dogs don't like? Have you heard about those at all?
Yes. The problem with those, and a lot of behaviouralists don't like those, because the problem with those is the barking is actually a sign of anxiety. And then the noise itself may make them more anxious. And so sometimes it works that you stop them barking, but you may be creating a more anxious puppy. So you're better off using nice stuff, for want of a better word, to cope with his anxiety.
Wayne, good luck. Lots of help.
Yeah, let us know how you go, please.
Sue from Christie's Beach. Now, Sue can fill you in on her story.
Okay.
Sue, welcome. How did it go?
Hey. G'day, Jade. G'day, Dr. Derek. Hope
Hello,
you're both
Sue.
well. Okay, long story short, I've had 2 dogs. I lost both the dogs this year, one in May and one in August, both aged 17. And I was trying to fill the gap and stuff like that, because I do like to have 2 of everything. Just call me Noah if you want, but I do like to have 2 of everything.
Sure, yes.
So I got onto a website that had miniature dashies, which I love the little dogs.
Yes.
And so some guy came out on Saturday morning with 2 that they had to be home together, which is fine.
Yes.
And so we put out the little screen and let the cats run free, and the dog spotted the cat and went, like, they started barking. That's okay, they do that.
Yes.
But the cats both went and hid behind the bar, and the dogs, like, as dogs will do, one went that way, one went that way, and they rounded them up.
Oh,
and, yeah, they rounded them up. The cats jumped up on the bar, and we heard all this glass smashing, whatever. But, yeah, so that was a no.
Oh, no.
I know. It's because there's 2 of them, and they have to be home together, so that's okay. I get that.
Yes.
So that was a no. I mean, I grew up with poodles. I love anything oodle. So,
Yes.
but I just need to have 2 of something. And yeah, I'm just looking at all these websites, and everyone's sending me their things of our stations and stuff like that just aren't going to work with 2 indoor cats. So.
Yes. What you can do, it's not easy because there's still a bit of a shortage of dogs around, but what you can do is actually call up RSPCA and Animal Welfare League, and I think there's a few other sort of rescue places around, and give them your order, and they'll actually take orders. I mean, they might not be able to come up with 2 perfect dogs maybe ever, but maybe not for 6 months or a year, but they're happy to, if you say to them, I'd like 2 dogs that need to go to a home together, I want them to be good with cats, and, you know, if you want small dogs or whatever size you want, tell them that as well. And I know of a lot of people, they've got there eventually. You have to be quite patient, unfortunately, Sue, because the chances of them having your shopping list immediately are very, very slim. So, but that's worthwhile doing as well, and also just going to your local vet. And because we often hear of different things, we often hear stories of people who have to, for various reasons, maybe are looking for a home for their dog because they can't keep it anymore, or maybe, as you say, 2 dogs. So put your name into your local vet as well and ask them, but definitely ask these rescue organisations as well.
Yeah, will do. Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thanks, Sue. I'm sorry that didn't work
awful.
out. She sent me a photo, and gosh, they were cute. But they sound like real scallywags.
Not fair for the cats, unfortunately.
No, not at all. We're going to take a really short break. If you'd like to talk to Dr. Derek, 8223 0000.
Brick, block, pave and save. Stack, lay, pattern and play. The look, the quality, the range. Luton.
Right now, you can save up to 25% off quality Luton, formerly Boral Masonry, bricks, blocks and pavers at your local Luton reseller.
The range. Luton. The look, the quality, the range.
Save up to 25% off at your Luton reseller today.
North Point Toyota's used car sale is on right now with over 250 used cars in stock ready for immediate delivery. North Point's family-owned and operated used car sites stock the latest used car models, many with low kilometres and new car warranty remaining. Whilst all used cars come with a 90-point safety check, many are Toyota certified pre-owned options which also include full service history. It's the North Point way. Hillcrest Prospect, Port Augusta, northpointtoyota.com.au.
Take a swing at cancer. Get involved in Cancer Council's The Longest Day. This ultimate golf challenge will test your skill, strength and stamina. Whether you're in it for 36, 54 or the longest 72 holes, you're helping raise much needed funds for cancer research, prevention and support. Start a team, choose a day and challenge yourself to Cancer Council's The Longest Day this December. Register now and tee off for a cancer-free future at longestday.org.au.
When you switch to Aldi, you'll save more on everyday items like bakery products. And then you can spend more on other stuff like baking yourself on a tropical beach somewhere. Right, time to turn over. So don't change your lifestyle, change your supermarket. Why not visit Aldi today to see just how much you can save on a weekly shop? I would, but my diary's chock-a-block. Aldi. Good. Different.
Want faster, more reliable internet? Switch to Aussie Broadband and access a $0 fibre upgrade to go faster than ever before. Check your eligibility at aussiebroadband.com.au. FTTC and FTTN addresses only. T's and C's apply.
Moving into a retirement village can be a big adjustment and buying a unit can be prohibitive. So here's an alternative, renting. At Riverbank Village in the heart of Mount Barker, they offer quality rental accommodation for seniors. That's right, rental accommodation. No entry or exit fees and no hidden costs. Just one fortnightly payment, which includes 3 meals daily, weekly linen service, reverse cycle aircon and social club. Secure, safe, friendly and close to shops. To find out more, go to riverbankvillage.com.au or call 8391 0449.
Be ready for life's ups and downs with Bupa. Get up to 10 weeks free when you join on eligible products. Plus, we'll waive the 2 and 6 month waiting period on extras. T's and C's apply. Search Bupa 10 weeks free today. Bupa, because life happens.
$13.95, Adelaide's FIVEAA. This is Jade Robran.
Welcome back to Afternoons. It's 26 minutes past 3 o'clock and we are talking Pet Talk with Dr. Derek McNair. Penina is on the line. Thank you so much for waiting. Good afternoon. Hello, have we got you there?
Oh, hi. You're speaking to me, sorry.
You're okay. Thank you for waiting. What would you like to talk to Dr. Derek about?
Oh, that's okay. Hi, Dr. Derek.
Hello.
My beautiful Staffy has been diagnosed with a skull cancer, and it's a very rare, excuse me for being upset,
That's
a very rare skull cancer. And the vet at Clare had said that, you know, the only option is chemo, but because we're on a pension and it can be about $5,000, we can't really do it. Now,
Sorry, did you say bowel cancer or skull cancer?
No, a rare skull cancer. She's got a lump on her head.
Oh, really? Oh.
And he's never come across it before. Anyway, she is still eating. She's still cheerful. She still wants to go for walks. The only problem is that, because it must be coming through her eyes and nose, she'll sneeze a lot. And then when she sneezes, you know, some blood can come out. How long should I keep her going?
Is it a cancer of the bone itself?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, they're tricky anyway. Penina, I'm afraid I'm very sorry. Yeah, they are. They're generally not very nice cancers to get, and sometimes, but it doesn't work as well in a bone cancer. Prednisolone, which is a very cheap, economical medication, can sometimes slow down cancers. It has varying results, and it's probably, unfortunately, less effective against bone cancers. So it's maybe something you can discuss with your vet, and you can maybe try some prednisolone and see if that helps a bit. You know, when is it time? That's it's not always a black and white question. It's when your dog becomes unwell and unhappy, and you think is a bit miserable, then yeah, then I would, with what you're describing, I would make the decision then. I've sent to heaven 5 of my own pets, and 3 of them have had cancer. And the first one I did, I left far too long because I just couldn't do it. And it was a cat, my cat called Stuart. And I let him live probably 2 months longer than I should because I just couldn't do it. You know, I'd look at him, and 2 minutes in the day he'd look great, and I would ignore the rest of the time. I'd just hang on to that 2 minutes. But I did it for my benefit and not for his. And so I think now when you've got a condition that unfortunately the chances are very strong it's just going to steadily get worse and worse, then I think when your dog gets to the point that things are not looking great, I tend to recommend to my patients to make the call earlier rather than later, because sometimes you're just extending a bit of the unhappiness. I mean there is an oncologist at Roseworthy at the vet school called Anne Peaston. Lovely lady, super smart. You could go and have a chat with her. It's not going to cost you that much, and discuss the options. But unfortunately, with bone cancers, I don't think she's going to give you a lot of happy answers. I'm sorry.
Our thoughts are with you. That's sad.
It's very sad.
They're
Sorry.
part of the family. We have Judy, who has called in from Port Noarlunga. Hello, Judy.
Hello. I'd love to speak to the vet about my Westie.
Oh, good. I love my best dog ever was a Westie.
They're pretty cute.
Oh, yes. Yeah. How can I help, Judy?
Well, she's 6 years old,
Yes.
and I love her to death. She's so beautiful.
Yes.
But I used to give her chicken necks.
Yes.
And I'd try and get small ones, and I'd cut them up into smaller pieces, but sort of leave them whole.
Yes.
But she got a piece of bone stuck in her throat, and I took her to the vet, and they couldn't see anything. But one night on the bed, she just coughed it up.
Okay.
And, yeah, I was lucky. So I changed her menu, you might say,
Yes.
to beef mince with carrot and sweet potato, and she absolutely loves it.
Yes.
But I'm just a bit concerned that it might not be right for her with allergies, because every time I turn around at the moment, she's scratching her feet.
Yes. Yeah. Has she just started scratching her feet in the last month or so?
She's always been that way inclined. But I think there's so much grass allergy around that it hasn't helped, sort of thing. But what do you think of beef mince? I cook it, and the carrots and the pumpkin, I cook it all up. She loves it. She gulps it all down, then burps.
She sounds very spoiled.
Oh, she is.
That's very, very cute. That's very cute. It's a complex thing. The first thing is when you get on about chicken necks, I don't like little dogs being fed chicken necks, because I've had a couple of dogs brought into my clinic that have passed away because they've choked on a chicken neck. So if you're going to feed a bone, make it bigger, so big the dog can't get it into its mouth, or a really irregular shape that they have to chomp it up. Well, like, I don't mind chicken wings. I've never had a problem with chicken wings, but chicken necks I just don't like. As far as the beef mince goes, that will probably be okay, Judy. With itchy Westies, there is a thing called Westies skin. Westies, best dogs in the world, but the worst dogs in the world when it comes to itchy skin. Genetically, they have very poor skin. So itchy paws is the most common symptom of hay fever in dogs. So at this time of year, most Westies have got itchy paws. You can get food allergies, but food allergies make up less than 5% of the cause of itching in dogs. So it's possible it's the beef. The only way you'd find out is actually to stop it for a few weeks and see if the itch subsided. And if it did, then you have to give it back to her again, what's called re-challenge her with it to see if giving her the beef starts it all again. So it's complex, but probably not the beef, but you have to stop it to find out.
Thank you so much, Judy. And thank you to you. Lovely to see you, and we'll see you again next Monday.
Thank you.
Beautiful. We're going to head into the newsroom. We'll be back soon.
This is Adelaide's FIVEAA.
Good afternoon, I'm Michaela Kamarek. Extinction Rebellion protesters formed a blockade at the Adelaide Convention Centre this morning as a gas and coal conference got away inside. The Australian Medical Association is rejecting claims doctors are rorting Medicare by up to $8 billion a year. The federal government has set an ambitious goal to end violence against women and children within 10 years, and Robbie Gray is returning to Alberton, taking on a role in recruiting and list management. Mostly sunny this afternoon, currently it's 24 degrees. More news at 4 o'clock and As It Happens on 5AA.
For a unique take on everything happening in SA, join Matthew Abraham each Thursday with David and Will.
All our premiers are doctors now because they made this decision without needing independent medical advice. You know, for the whole of the pandemic, we were told we were making all these decisions on the best medical advice. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was the mantra.
Matthew Abraham, Thursday mornings from 7:30.
That was the mantra for lockdowns and everything. Well, that's gone. There was no medical advice.
Only on Adelaide's 5AA.
Honey, how far away is that barbecue?
Mission update, time is 1300 hours. 4 burners are now operational. Sausages are commencing their final turn. Beer fridge is sitting at 3 degrees. Manual temperature verification. Perfect. Estimated time of food delivery, 6 minutes, 30 seconds.
Okay.
If you take your role as backyard hospitality director seriously, make sure your cuisine cockpit is A-OK with Adelaide Outdoor Kitchens. Outdoor appliances, custom concrete bench tops and basins, barbecues and custom furniture. AdelaideOutdoorKitchens.com.au.
I think the great thing about retirement living is you get the opportunity to meet a lot of people with similar life experiences.
We don't have financial worries. We are really enjoying our life together.
I love the feeling of being able to do whatever I want, whenever I want.
For many people who make the move to an FIVEAA retirement community, it's time to look forward to a fresh new chapter. What will you look forward to? Search FIVEAA First Step for your free First Step guide.
Our pets can be such a comfort, and to some of us they are clearly part of the family. So show them you care and head into your local Cheapest Chips for amazing catalogue deals out this Wednesday. With the warm weather, pets are itching to play outside, but when you can't keep an eye on them, pick up a galvanised pet enclosure for $319. Call into your nearest Cheapest Chips to grab a hide-away cat litter box, only $39, and a dog trampoline pet bed starting from $55. There's loads of great hot buys like 20-pack puppy training pads, 3 for only $21. Get to your local Cheapest Chips for amazing catalogue deals out this Wednesday. Even pets live cheaper every day at Cheapest Chips.
I was a passenger in a serious crash when a car came out of nowhere. My life was completely turned upside down and I couldn't return to work. This was emotionally and financially overwhelming. But with my free meeting with Marnie's lawyers, I found out I was able to make a claim. They gave me advice about my rights and offered a no-win, no-fee payment arrangement. Thanks to the team at Marnie's, I received the compensation I was entitled to.
Marnie's Lawyers, injury compensation experts. marnieslawyers.net.au.
Internode geeks love combinations, and here's one of our favourites. You take a whole 40 gigabytes of data, add unlimited talk and text to standard Australian numbers, a no lock-in contract, a low price, and the result? Ta-da! Our magnificent new 40 gigabyte mobile SIM plan. It's just $15 a month for the first 6 months, then $29.99 a month. To find out more, visit internode.net. 6-month offer for new mobile customers only. Excess data $10 per 2 gigabytes for use in Australia.
G'day, it's Jared for Southern Mitsubishi. Thinking Mitsubishi or servicing your existing car? Southern Mitsubishi stock the full range, all designed to thrill. And they can service any make or model. 147 Main South Road, Morphett Vale. Driven by Australian Motors. LVD 80.
Jade Robran on 1395, Adelaide's 5AA.
Welcome back to Afternoons. This week we are celebrating Zenith Caravans, our FIVEAA Business of the Week. Explore Australia this summer with a Zenith Caravan. Stock available immediately. Visit zenithcaravans.com.au. It is nearly 20 minutes to 4 o'clock. Coming up after 4 o'clock, it's the Sports Show with Rowie and the boys. Good afternoon to you, mate.
Well, Jade, it's not the boys anymore. Timmy's still away. He's got another week and a half.
Yeah.
Leith's got a school chaperone role, I guess. You know,
okay.
That's more important than this.
Yeah.
Sam's got the flu.
Oh, no.
So he's going to be squeaky.
So it's you.
Jodie and I sat in the spa yesterday for 8 hours. I drank 18 Aperols. Have a look at my eyes. They're bloodshot. I feel like a prune. I've drunk 18 litres of water.
Oh my
Peed like a racehorse. I feel like crap. So this next 2 hours will be exciting.
This is going to be the best show you've ever put on. I'm excited.
Vix joins us after 5. Couple of big stories. Netball Australia putting morals, I guess, inclusiveness and, global warming and, I don't know, every tree-hugging woke thing you can think of, ahead of $15 million in sponsorship from the great Gina Reinhart. Look, I love the Diamonds, but you're a joke. You're the laughing stock. I mean, please.
This would have secured the future of netball for years and years and years to come. Maybe use some of that money for good.
This is where we're heading, honestly, in sport. For sporting organisations, and I pick on the AFLW a bit here, if you stand for everything, you stand for nothing.
Yeah, the message gets lost.
You can't please everybody all the time.
No.
So don't go wearing a Hugo Boss suit. Don't go buying a car from Japan. They bombed Pearl Harbor.
Yeah,
don't buy a car from Ford, Henry Ford leather. Don't eat anything. When you walk across the road and there's a little ant there, jump that ant. Yeah. Don't dare tread on that ant. I mean, honestly.
Or don't pick an apple from a tree. Wait till it falls down because you might hurt its feelings.
Yeah, well, what was happening today? The
rebellion glue
stickers. Oh, my God.
Do you know what? I turn a bit of an ignorant ear to that because I feel like it's lost its purpose a bit.
They're a disgrace. If they glued themselves to the middle of the road, I'd mow them over. Crows delisted 3. Jimmy's one of them. We'll talk about that, see it 4.
Rowie, love your work. Thank you so very much. I have a family pass to the SA Boat and Fishing Show, plus 4-wheel drive and adventure show this Friday to Sunday at the Adelaide Showgrounds. I would love you to call in if you would like to win it. 8223 0055 is the number to call. I don't know if you've caught up with this news, but King Charles... he's going to sell some of the Queen's horses. So they're off but not racing for the King anymore, which I think's a little bit sad. And it's taken many by surprise a little bit. Let's talk to Natalie Oliveri, our royal reporter at 9 Honey. Natalie, great to talk to you. It's been a while.
Hi, Jade. How are you?
I'm good. This is quick. Why is he selling her horses?
Well, yeah, it is a little unusual, and royal sources have been at pains to stress that the new king is certainly going to carry on his mother's legacy of, I guess, having that very important and very strong connection to Royal Ascot. That's obviously the biggest race event of the year in the UK. But what we're hearing today is that the king is planning to sell off around 12 of the race horses that were inherited by him when the Queen passed away in September. Now, we're hearing that it's part of a winding down of the late Queen's racing operations. So she owned around 37 horses involved in racing at the time of her death, and the King is looking to sell around 1/3 of those. Normally, the Queen would be selling around 7 horses a year, so selling them is not the really unusual thing, but I guess it's the amount of horses that the King's planning to offload. But look, we're not entirely sure why. They have confirmed that this is happening, but a source has told one of the UK papers that the Royals start at Sandringham, that's where all of this breeding takes place, that in 3 years' time it could be transformed into a museum as part of like this winding down and ending of the commercial arrangements. But look, we're not entirely sure. But look, as we know, certainly there will be a number of things changing as the new king sort of settles into his role, and certainly this is just one of the changes we've seen quite early on.
Well, one that has been flagged over the weekend, that the king wants his queen, not a consort queen.
Yes, Yes, well, that's what we're hearing as well. So at the moment, Camilla, her official title is Camilla the Queen Consort. We can also call her the Queen Consort Camilla. And look, from day one, that's sort of what we were told, that's her official title. Now, it's out of respect to the late Princess Diana. So the Queen, she can't be known as a queen in her own right for, really just out of respect to the late Princess Diana here. However, as time progresses, as people start to warm to the idea of a Queen Camilla, we will see that consort word be actually dropped from her title. Now, I don't think there's going to be an official announcement of this. I think it's just going to be something that we start referring to her more as Queen Camilla. And especially next year with the coronation, the King will be crowned alongside his wife Camilla, the Queen. So it's sort of just a language thing. We know that in February, the late Queen Elizabeth announced that she would like Camilla to have this title of Queen Consort. And that's certainly, I guess, the late Queen giving her blessing for Camilla to be known as this, because many, many years ago, we thought that she would be known as Princess Consort, again, out of respect to the late Princess Diana. Mm-hmm. But as people have sort of warmed to her, she has now been given... Look, she certainly has. I know that there are certainly a lot of people who don't love her, but since the Queen's passing in September 8th this year, I guess popularity towards Camilla and Charles has really increased, and both of them are really riding this wave of popularity at the moment, and we're hoping it continues. Certainly the new King and all the palace staff are hoping it continues, but who knows with, I guess, Harry and Meghan's book coming out later this year, perhaps their documentary, things might start to change, and also The Crown, that's coming out in November, and there are fears that's going to damage the King's reputation among some people too.
You touched on the coronation, and apparently Meghan, she's risked being banned from the King's coronation. Why is that? What's she done now?
She hasn't quite done anything yet, but it's all about this Harry's book. So he has written a book, his memoir, and it was expected to be released by the end of the year, but then the Queen passed away. So this book has reportedly been pushed back until mid-next year. We don't have a release date at this stage. So it's sort of, we're hearing that if Harry and if Meghan are overly critical of Camilla in this book, and also there are forthcoming Netflix documentary, if Camilla sort of gets heavily criticised in these two pieces of work, then, Harry and his wife could be at risk of not attending the coronation. I would say that's highly unlikely, though, because, King Charles mentioned his son and Meghan in his first speech as monarch. So it seems that there is some sort of effort from the new King to welcome Harry and Meghan back. Just the other day, we saw a framed photo of Harry and Meghan from their wedding in the new King's office. So they haven't been excluded, I guess, in the way that many people think they have been. But as I said, we don't know what this book is going to contain. They have a documentary coming out on Netflix. Again, we're not entirely sure when that is happening. We're hearing December, but we're not entirely sure because Netflix and also the book's publishers, they've refused to actually comment and refused to actually give us a date.
Is the Netflix series, is that a sort of a Kardashian follow them everywhere type thing?
Look, we heard at the start of the year or a few months ago, certainly, that it was going to be like a bit of a reality TV type thing. But then it was sort of clarified saying that no, really, it's a fly-on-the-wall documentary series type thing. And it's really going to explore, I guess, their charity work, their life in the US and also their return to the UK earlier this year. Of course, they were back there for the Invictus Games in April at The Hague, and then they returned for 3 charity events in September, and then, of course, that was sort of thrown into a bit of chaos when Her Majesty passed away. So, again, we're not entirely sure. We're thinking it's going to be a look at their lives and what they have done with their Archwell Foundation. But certainly we are hearing that they have asked Netflix to make a number of changes because, they may have said some nasty things about the royal family on camera and perhaps want to tone down some of those comments in light of what has happened. But again, look, a lot of it's all speculation, so it's really hard to know with these two. But as we have seen, they certainly have shocked before with some of the things that they've said on the record about the royal family.
Oh, yes, they have. Natalie, thank you so much. Have a great afternoon.
Thanks, Jade.
Cheers, thank you. And Natalie has written about some of those topics on her website, 9Honey. That is Natalie Oliveri, Royal Expert at 9Honey. Now, we are coming to you live on the live stream. You can jump online at YouTube or also Facebook. That is all thanks to Foodland Supermarkets. I have a double to the Adelaide International Rose and Garden Expo, which is on October the 28th to the 30th. You can jump online if you want to know more about it. You jump onto roseexpo.au. So if you'd like to head along, 8223 0055. The fifth caller through would be fantastic if you'd like to head along. Give Tammy a call now.
Individual effort again, she goes to the crowd.
Get on board with the AFLW in 2022 on Adelaide's FIVEAA. Thanks to Exis for all the industrial cleaning jobs that you don't want to do. Get Exis Group, EXIIS.
Is it possible to create tomorrow's car today? Hyundai believes so. Take the Tucson, Hyundai's mid-size SUV, featuring a revolutionary look, intuitive interior, advanced tech and safety. You can enjoy all this in the Tucson Turbo Diesel all-wheel drive. Available now. Tomorrow's car is here today. Hyundai Tucson, in stock now. Visit Hyundai.com.au. Imagine that. Hyundai.
Mum? Dad?
Hey, honey.
I've met someone.
Oh my God, is he a doctor? A lawyer? Is he a surgeon?
He's a concreter. From Adelaide Exposed Concrete.
But why? Didn't you say so?
At Adelaide Exposed Concrete, we're committed to the highest standards of service, design and workmanship.
Finally, we've got a concreter in the family.
Adelaide Exposed Concrete. Best on ground, all year round.
The Mental Health Coalition of South Australia are bringing some of the funniest people in the state under the one roof at the Aqaba Hotel for Laughter is the Best of Meds. It's all supporting change for a harsh reality. South Australia's mental health system is under strain. It's tough getting the right support when you need it, which puts further stress on our emergency departments, and we're seeing suicide rates go up way too often. We desperately need to improve the system so more people can access the help that they need. Well, on Wednesday, the 19th of October at 7:30pm at the Aqaba Hotel, you can help show your support for this terrific fundraising event. Laughter is the Best of Meds. Catch host Wadneys, a beloved drag queen, Mickey D, the beautiful Bogan, Mark Ryan, Frankly, Josh Warrior, Leela Vahizi and Forum Bakriana. Don't miss Laughter is the Best of Meds at the Aqaba Hotel. Tickets are $15 for concession or $20 full price. Book yours today at MHCSA, that is mhcsa.org.au.
Ray White, big name in real estate, but also the biggest name in business broking. What makes us big? Our people, like Brett Buckley and his team. MBA, lecturer, and multi-time SA Business Broker of the Year. Brett doesn't just read a P&L, he feels it. If you're selling or expanding your business, Brett can take your business apart and find you more money. And we're not talking small change. Go on, touch base with Brett. Search Ray White Business Sales SA.
Here at FIVEAA, we're all about supporting local. Summer is just around the corner, so now's the time to beat the rush and get your air conditioning sorted with Mannix. Remember, nobody beats Mannix.
Here's what you missed on Dreamscapes. Deep in the jungle, you discover a tower built entirely of toffee, surrounded by a cappuccino moat. The Queen of Ants arrives on a marshmallow boat, ready to negotiate trade sanctions on your mine of sugarific gold. And is that chocolate yacht for you? What dreamscapes are you missing? If you're not sleeping, talk to Respirico Scooterworld about an in-home sleep apnea assessment. Visit Respirico Scooterworld for all your sleep, respiratory and mobility needs.
Jade Robran, Talking Adelaide on 1395 5AA.
Welcome back to the program. It is 8 minutes to 4 o'clock. Fresh from Broadway, worldwide smash hit Tony and Olivia award-winning musical Come From Away is heading to Adelaide's Her Majesty Theatre from the 28th of March next year.
On the northeast tip of North America, on an island called Newfoundland, is an airport
Now, it used to be one of the biggest airports in the world, and next to it is a town called Gander. Everybody knows everybody else, and everybody in this room has a story about how they started that day. Welcome to the Rock. If you come from away, you'll probably understand about a half of what we say. They say no man's an
Now,
island,
it's a
but
really beautiful story of human spirit following the September 11 attacks. And joining us is musical director Michael Tyack. Michael, welcome to the program. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Jade. Thank you for having me.
We're really excited this is coming to town. Can you tell us a little bit about the story?
Yeah, back there on September 11, which is in 2001, which is an event I think for those of us who are old enough, all remember where we were when that happened. When the American airspace was closed, they diverted an awful lot of planes to, well, anywhere they could. But there's a little town in Newfoundland, which is an island off the coast of Canada, that used to have a very big airport when it was the first place that transatlantic jets could land. But it's only a town of 7,000 people, and suddenly there were 38 planes diverted there. So suddenly they had 6,000 extra guests. They didn't know what was happening. The people in Canada didn't know what was going to be happening. So it's this lovely story about how does a small town of 7,000 people cope when it suddenly has 6,000 extra people to look after. And that's one of those sort of stories, as we know, when there's emergencies and catastrophes, the way people pitch in. It's sort of a story about that and how people cope under those times and just how generous and kind-hearted people can be when there's an unexpected emergency.
How did you come across the story?
Well, it was found by the producers. There was a person in America whose name I can't remember, but he thought it was an interesting story. And there was the 10th anniversary of that event when all the people, or as many as could, from that time, the 5 days that these people were stuck in this town, had a reunion 10 years later. And they sent some writers up there to interview people. And getting all the human stories and all what was going on, they thought it would make a great piece of theatre, which indeed it has. So that's kind of where it came from.
And it has just had such extraordinary success, hasn't it? Has it taken producers even by surprise?
I think so. I think they always knew it was a risk, and it could be seen as a very odd title, Come From Away. It doesn't necessarily have any brand name that people recognise, like Disney musicals or whatever. So they did it with a fair degree of risk, I think. Come From Away is what people from Newfoundland call people from outside. So suddenly they had 6,000 come from aways with them. So yes, I think it was a definite risk. But once you see the show and or I think even when the producers saw it, they knew they were on something very special, very different. It's not like a lot of musicals. It's very simple. It's very focused on people. It's not necessarily about spectacular effects or anything else. It's just about humans and human heart.
Yeah. Oh, it looks beautiful, Michael. We cannot wait. Thank you so much for joining us and telling us all about it.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to getting over to Adelaide. It was put off once because of border closures and shutdowns, and very excited to get there.
Well, we'll be opening our arms to you guys and the crew. Thank you so much. Come From Away, so it's coming to Her Majesty's Theatre from the 28th of March, a beautiful story of human spirit following those evil September 11 attacks. It's a gorgeous story, and the individual stories within this musical, it will warm your heart. That is it from us today. I hope you had a fantastic afternoon tuning in. Rowie Sports Show's coming up next. Have a great afternoon. Bye for now.
If you have been approved a home care package through My Aged Care or NDIS, then listen to Elsie.
I used my funding to have my